Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Monday again. So we are ready to talk about a new piece of inspiration to head start your week. And today I will talk about your ability to pivot. And the reason why I'm talking about this, or the reason why I want you to listen to this video, is because it's a fact in life that if you want to go to a place, you always know where you start and you probably know where you want to finish, but it will never happen in just one straight line. And then the big question is, how do you deal with that? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. The flexible approach and your ability to pivot around things that just happen to you, things that just fall out of the air, totally unexpected, and then suddenly they are in your way and you have to deal with it. Well, I will start with an example. Let's look at these videos. The original idea behind me creating these videos on a Monday is to share a bit of an insight. Every week, one insight, a thing that happened last week that made me think, or that also happened with a coachee, and that he or she suddenly realized a big thing. And that's the thing that I want to share with you. And there is the whole business model behind it, because everything that I do is completely aimed on leadership, ambitious leaders, and helping them to achieve more in an easier way. And to do so, I chose the approach to share and to give as much as possible. Share insights, share ideas, create blog posts, create my podcast. Now every week on Monday, create this Monday Insight moment. So you really gain some ideas, and that hopefully your thoughts are a bit provocated, and that you start thinking about it. And then once you start thinking about it, that you suddenly realize I think I have to do something with this, or I want to become better in this. And that then the questions come to me, and that we then can start an in-depth transformational coaching program to really make things happen on that specific area where you are challenged for yourself. That's the idea behind it. But then the big question, of course, is, does it work? And in terms of social media and marketing, etc., it's all quite easy to find out. For example, with these videos, I record them every Monday, and I can easily see how many views they got, how many likes they got, how many comments they got. And that are parameters on which I can decide whether it's good to keep doing those videos or to change the approach to it. But that doesn't say anything about the big idea which is behind it, helping the ambitious leaders become more effective in what they do, so to reach more in an easier way. And to reach that final goal, there are so many ways that I can take and so many things that I can think of to create that. Now, in marketing and sales, etc., it's quite logical to look at it from that perspective. And many people do it like that. Even all those statistics, they are just present. You just go to a website and you can look at all those statistics. How many downloads, how many views, how many times streamed, how many minutes viewed. It's all there. So it's quite easy to look at it and to understand it. But then the reflective question I want to come to today is about your leadership. How are you going to measure the impact of your leadership? Because it's actually more or less the same idea behind it. And the unfortunate thing is that all those statistics, they are not present just on a website. So you cannot do your leadership thing and then just go to a website and log in and to see how successful you were as a leader. So you have to define those parameters and those success parameters about your own leadership for yourself. And that can be a hard thing to do, but it's absolutely worth doing it, because imagine that you in your leadership position, you are approaching your team in a certain way. You are doing it over and over and over again with all the best intentions, but you don't really see things happen. Then you can start questioning yourself from, yeah, is my approach that good? Am I really doing the right things here? And the logical answer to that is, if you don't reach the real results, then you will have to change your approach to it. So it's actually a marketing principle that also applies to your leadership. And if you want to get started with that, then, well, it all starts in defining what is your leadership success. Because if you don't know what you want to strive for as a leader, what defines your success as a leader, then no matter which approach that you take, it will never be a good approach. And at this moment, it doesn't matter what that result is that you want to strive for. Perhaps you think for me as a leader, it's very important to create a lot of financial results. Or for me as a leader, it's very necessary to boost the motivation of my team. Or perhaps that you say no, my criteria of success as a leader is how many people follow my orders. Well, I have a strong opinion about that, what is good leadership and what isn't, but at this moment, I don't going to say anything about it. It's just for yourself to know what is my real success criteria for my role as a leader. And if you are sure about that, then you can apply the methodology of reverse engineering. If you know where you want to finish, then you can go back step by step to the beginning where you are right now and define a way on how to get there. And probably there are more ways than you can think about. So, for example, if you say my success criteria as a leader is all about the level of motivation of my team, well, then probably there are more than one way on how to boost that motivation within your team. Sum up as much as possible. And if you end up with 5 or 10 different ways, that's great. Just choose one and get started. And then apply the principle of the analytics. And if you are applying it, then just watch what happens. And if nothing happens within 3 months, or within 3 months you don't see any shift towards the direction that you want to go, then probably you didn't take the right approach there. And that's not nothing wrong. It's just what it is. And then you have to take another approach. And perhaps that approach will generate some effect. Great. Perhaps after a few weeks or after a few months, the effect is no longer there. Again, not a problem. Change the approach. Go into another direction. But keep that endpoint in mind, because that's the reason why you're all doing it. That's your definition of success as a leader. So, to summarize it for today, if you want to get started with this idea of taking the marketing principle into your leadership, then analyze for yourself, what is it that I'm already doing for more than 3 months in the same way? And then you can question yourself whether that still has an effect or not. If that still has an effect, great, continue with it. If it doesn't have a success or an effect on the things that you want to generate, then just change your approach. And which is your next approach, or how would you change it? Well, think about as many ways as possible that could bring you into the direction that you want to go. And then just choose one, get started, measure your results, and see what happens. So that was it for today. I hope you can use the principle over the next week, that perhaps it changes your approach a bit. And well, I'm going to do the same thing for me about these videos. I'm also going to think about this approach and to see whether it has an effect on the things that I want to reach. And well, we will see what comes up next week. The same applies to you. Good luck. See you next week again. Bye.